Hey, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this. Right now, I'm just playing me some Red Dead Redemption 2, and figured I'd go ahead and do another video because, you know, I just felt like it. I did a shorts video a little bit ago, and showing quite a few clips that I already took, the past 2, 3 weeks. So, yeah. Um, Yeah, I got my controller right here, so, yeah, like I said, I'm just playing me some Red Dead Redemption 2 while I'm making this video, so, yeah, um, but, I know the camera looks like I'm sitting quite a ways away, and I'm really not. It's just the way this camera is, but when I have the camera pointed the other way, like I'm holding it like this and I'm recording something, like everything always seems up close, so it's just a weird thing with this tablet that I record with or take pictures with, but I can't complain though, because it does take pretty good pictures and videos. So I have the volume on my game turned down, so hopefully you guys don't hear too much noise. You guys might see some light movement and all, but that's about it. So yeah, that being said, so anyways, I'm here to talk about my plans for the next week or two. Possibly, it probably wouldn't be any more than 2 weeks, if that. But first and foremost, now that I'm almost 2 minutes into the video, to all the mothers out there that's watching, hopefully you all had a fantastic Mother's Day to remember. I pretty much hung out with my stepmom today. I was going to go see my biological mom, but unfortunately, just my brothers and I was trying to talk to my brothers about planning something for her, and none of them ever really gave me an answer. And one of my other brothers had things that he had to do today. As a matter of fact, one of them had to work, and then one of my other brothers had to go do some things. I have three biological brothers. So yeah. I didn't go see my mom today, but I was gonna plan something hopefully real soon. Uh, Hopefully either in a few weeks or sometime in early June. I'm not too sure. She's got a birthday coming up as well, so there's that. But yeah, that being said, I hung out with my stepmom today. I did wish my biological mom a happy Mother's Day. Talked to her on the phone earlier, so her and I were not on bad terms. I'm not on bad terms with anybody in my family by any means, but yeah. But like I said, to all the mothers out there that's watching this, hopefully you all had a fantastic Mother's Day to remember. So, I'm sure some of you who are watching this probably didn't watch my shorts video that I just put together prior to me doing this video. But so in my shorts video, it starts off with me just kind of hanging out in my truck at a parking lot at one of the beaches in South Haven, because I had just got off work, and I figured I still had plenty of daylight left, and drove over there. I drove to South Haven anyways, because I was grabbing something to eat, and I figured while I was there, I drive down to the beach and look at the lake. And I also included clips of two different storms that I recorded. One from I think it was like the first or second week of April, and then there was another storm that came through a few days later. Not as bad, but you know, there were times where it did get a little crazy. You know, that's for sure. But yeah, included some videos of a few different storms that I recorded, and then also there's quite a few other things that I included in that shorts video. I'm not gonna go into full details, but yeah, this big video that I've been working on it since I want to say probably the second week of April. I haven't really been doing much other than recording weather and, you know, just recording some of the things that we've been doing at my job. We just got done with a big siding job up in Holland, and, you know, let me tell you, that place, you know, for me, I absolutely love Holland. You know, I think it's a beautiful town, nice area, lots of nice people, lots of decent culture there too. There was a festival that was going on in Holland that I wanted to go check out, you know, Tulip Festival or something like that. I really wanted to go check that out, but fortunately, hopefully if I don't keep yawning, I ended up not going, you know, because work ended up getting in the way, and I've been super busy with work lately, hence the reason why I haven't really been recording a crap ton. But yeah, you know, there are some things that I've recorded, and probably doesn't look like much right now from how I'm looking at it, but I'm sure if I go to put the videos together, it's gonna end up being like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. But I don't really think it's that long, but I don't know. I won't know until probably Memorial Day weekend, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So yeah. But yeah, you know, there's quite a bit of things going on, that's for sure. Got a lot of plans. Of course I yawn again. Good grief. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really not that tired, but, you know, just, it is getting to be that time. But I'm going to try and stick with it with this video. Yeah, next weekend I'm going to be going on a trip up to Baldwin. There's going to be a motorcycle rally going on there. It's called Blessing of the Bike. I go to that. I've been going to that each and every year since 2022. So this will be the 4th year in a row that I go. I absolutely love it, you know. Blessing of the Bike, they definitely have, especially the one up in Baldwin. They have so many things to offer, you know. Lots of vendors, you know, lots of food vendors, lots of clothing vendors, lots of other different vendors for sure, you know. So, you know, Blessing of the Bike in Baldwin has so many things to offer, you know, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure there's another Blessing of the Bike rally that takes place somewhere here in Michigan. I honestly don't remember at the top of my head. I thought I heard something about one being in Holland or somewhere, maybe somewhere in Ottawa County, but I could be wrong. I didn't know about this until a few years ago, so, you know, I turn that off because it's starting to get a little cold. Yeah. Apparently there's a few other Blessing of the Bike rallies that go on, and then, you know, not every motorcycle rally that goes on is a Blessing of the Bike rally. You know, there's a few other names for them. There's another motorcycle rally that takes place in Muskegon, right around my birthday. It's called Rebel Road. That's another good bike rally to go to. It's not anywhere near as good as the one up in Baldwin, in my opinion, but it's a good rally to go to. You know, it's up in Muskegon, like I said. I definitely like Muskegon. It's one of my, not really my favorite town in Michigan. I mean, it's kind of up there a ways, but I don't think Muskegon's a bad town. I mean, I'm sure there's some bad things that go on in there in that city, you know, like Muskegon Heights area, and then I'm sure there's a few neighborhoods in Muskegon that aren't the best, you know, but unfortunately a lot of cities are going to have a lot of their ups and downs, you know, that's for sure. But yeah, you know, yeah, there's Rebel Road and then Blessing of the Bike. That's for sure. Yeah. Those two bike rallies are bike rallies that I absolutely enjoy. You know, there's this other bike rally that takes place somewhere in Wisconsin. I can't remember the name of the town. I think it was somewhere north of Wausau, Wisconsin, but I tried talking to my dad and my stepmom about, you know, trying to go up there at some point and going to that bike rally, and, you know, we were going to try and save up for it at one point, and then unfortunately it just never happened. So, you know, I think that was like maybe probably almost 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure, in all honesty. But, yeah, you know, I absolutely like Blessing of the Bike in Baldwin. I think it's a great rally. Lots of good people. Like I said, the vendors and everything, it's just a great place to be during the Blessing of the Bike rally. You know, like the entire town of Baldwin, you know, their main road gets that goes through there, you know, M37 or whatever. They usually shut that main road down going through downtown. Unless if you're on a motorcycle, then they let you through. Yeah, which I think is absolutely cool. They usually do that during the day, and then they reopen it to all cars. I think they leave it open for all cars up until like maybe 12 o'clock or somewhere. You know, maybe 1 o'clock at the latest. I don't really remember the times at the top of my head, but usually when we go to Blessing of the Bike at the beginning of the day, they have the roads open still. You know, I'd take a video, or I'd have my little sister or whoever else is with me take the video while I'm driving. But usually when we go to Blessing of the Bike, we go to this one grocery store that's about a mile or two south of Baldwin, you know, where they have part of the Blessing of the Bike rally, and then we go up to the main part of Baldwin where they have the main rally, you know, which is really cool. I love how they have it set up, you know. In my opinion, I don't think there's any other bike rally like Blessing of the Bike. Maybe there's a few others out there that are just like that, or maybe even better. I'm not too sure. I honestly, you know, like I said, the biggest bike rallies I've been to is Blessing of the Bike in Baldwin and Rebel Road up in Muskegon. So, you know, would like to try and participate in more bike rallies, and or, you know, go to more of them, but, you know, I just never really have a chance to. Last year I was going to try and go to a third motorcycle rally, but unfortunately I ended up working, and that was down in Niles. It was Niles Burn Run or something like that. It's a bike rally that they have going on each and every year. Usually the week after Muskegon's Rebel Road. So maybe I'll try and do that this coming summer. I'm not 100% sure, in all honesty. I go to Niles way more often than I'd like to. You know, I don't hate that town, you know. I don't think it's a bad looking town, you know. I understand why some people think that it's a nice town, you know, especially their downtown area. But I go there way too often, like for work and see some of my family, but mostly work, you know. Niles is about an hour long drive from where I live, so you know, when you go back and forth there for work, you know, you just kind of get tired of going there after a while. That's for sure. Holy crap. Another yawn. My word. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, you know, anyways, back to my weekend plan. So, or my plans in general, you know. So, like I said, yeah, there's Blessing of the Bike coming up next weekend up in Baldwin. I'm going to be spending 3 days up in Baldwin, checking out the bike rally, and then also taking a drive to Ludington, because I absolutely love Ludington, you know. I like that town a little more than I like South Haven, you know. South Haven's beautiful and all, and it's the closest beautiful beach town near me, but, you know, Ludington, in my opinion, has South Haven beat by, like, quite a few points, you know. My favorite beach town, in my opinion, here in Michigan would be Traverse City, and then my number 2 would be Howland, and number 3, Silver Beach and St. Joe. Then there's Ludington, and then I guess South Haven would be right after Ludington, but I don't know. But that's just my opinion. You know, everybody has their opinions. But yeah, we're going to go up to Ludington while we're up in Baldwin. I don't know what all we'll do when we're up in Baldwin. It'd be kind of nice to record the ferry that goes in and out of their pier. But I don't know if I will. I guess that really depends. I know this year there's going to be quite a few people coming, you know. All my brothers. I think one of my uncles is coming, and one of, you know, my cousin. And then, of course, there's my stepmom, my dad, my little sister, and I. And then my stepmom's cousin is joining us, and then my dad's cousin is planning on joining us too. So, you know, we're gonna have quite a few people coming up. Oh, and one of my aunts might come up too, but that's kind of a 50-50 at this point. So, yeah, we're gonna have a big crew. I'm not 100% sure exactly what all is gonna happen, but yeah. I'm absolutely looking forward to that trip, you know, just hanging out in Baldwin and, you know, checking out vendors, checking out motorcycles and all that, and then possibly taking a drive over to Ludington and doing a few things. You can never go wrong with it, that's for sure. So, yeah. Losing my train of thought. one of these days. It's probably not going to be this summer, but sometime in the next few summers, when I'm up in Baldwin, I'd like to take a drive over to Traverse City, kind of like how we did last fall. Actually, we went all the way up to the Mackinac Bridge, but we passed through Traverse City, and you know, I absolutely, like I said a little bit ago, I love Traverse City. Um, and Baldwin's only an hour away from Traverse City, so it works out pretty good. Um, but yeah, um, you know, uh, being up in Baldwin, yeah, the town of Baldwin doesn't really have much unless if you're up there for Blessing of the Bike, or if you're trail riding, or if you're somebody like me that likes to drive over to Ludington. But you know, yeah, they have lots of good camping sites. Just lots of beautiful nature. There are bears up there, which is something you got to look out for. I've never seen a bear up there yet, but I hear quite often about bear sightings in that area and quite a few other areas up in Michigan. I believe they said that there were cougar sightings up there too. I'm not 100% sure. Um, I know the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is a hot spot for bears, cougars, even moose. Uh, yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to this trip. And then the weekend after is going to be Memorial Day weekend. I'm not too sure exactly what I'm going to be doing on Memorial Day weekend. Originally, I thought that we were going to work through that weekend, but I guess there was a change of plans, which I'm kind of thankful for because, I would have been bummed if we had to work through that weekend. That's for sure. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, you know, if everything does go as planned, though, what I would like to do is drive over to Fort Custer National Cemetery over by Battle Creek because, I got a step grandfather that's buried there. He passed away in 2018, and yeah, he was a military vet, so yeah, he was buried there, and yeah, it's been a little while since I've been to his memorial site and all. I'm gonna turn this back on because it's starting to get a little warm in here again. Um, put that on low blast actually. It gets warm in this room easily, so it's like I didn't think it would warm back up, but quite frankly, it did. Even though it cooled off outside. Um, but yeah, I drove to Fort Custer National Cemetery back in. Well, I've been there a few times, but the one Memorial Day that I did go there, was it 2024? Might have been 2025. No, it was 2024. That's right, because last year in 2025 I didn't go. I was gonna go, but I didn't have the gas money to go that way, and then there was a few other things that came up that day, so I ended up not going there. And at the time, like I said, the truck that I had at the time had just broke down, and uh, unfortunately, a few days later, I would lose that truck because I still owed payments on it, and I wasn't going to keep making payments on a vehicle that needed a freaking grand or two repair, you know. So, I mean, yeah, I wish I still had that truck, you know, my 2014 Ford F-150. I really do miss that truck. I don't mean to keep bringing that truck up, but, you know, it's, other than the issue that I had with it at the end, you know, it's probably one of the best trucks I've had, you know. I just miss a lot of the things with that truck, you know. Definitely had better gas mileage than what the truck that I have now does, you know. But anyways, yeah. You know, I'm hoping to drive to Fort Custer this Memorial Day, you know, that's for sure. But yeah. And then, of course, you know, before we know it, we'll be approaching June. Actually, I think there's one more weekend, like between Memorial Day weekend and June. I'll have to look at a calendar again. I thought I saw something about another weekend, but I never had a chance to go and give me some new calendars for this year, and I already, I think about a month or so back, I was kind of like, you know what, we're already quite a ways into the year. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just look at the calendar on my phone and yeah. I like to keep a calendar in my room, but you know, unfortunately, the first few months of this year, we really didn't do much. You know, work was super slow, and you know, I hadn't had a chance to really go do much or get much. And of course, I forgot to ask for some new calendars on Christmas. That's usually what I do, but yeah, go figure on that. But yeah, you know, not exactly sure. Dang it, losing my train of thought again. What time is it? Where the heck did I set my phone? Here it is. It's 11:08, so yeah, it's starting to get to be that time a little bit, you know. Get up for work in the morning, yeah, that's for sure. The next few days, we're supposed to work a job that's about an hour away from where I work. It's up by Gun Lake. Not really excited about driving back and forth there, but yeah, especially for work. But honestly, I can't complain because, for one, I do like Gun Lake. I think it's a Yankee Springs area. You know, Wayland Township, that area. It's a nice area, you know, lots of woods, you know, lots of nice people, and, you know, Gun Lake itself is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love going to Gun Lake, you know, that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Just doing a little bit of hunting on this game right now. Not sure if you just heard that gunshot. Try not to cause too much ruckus on this game. In one of the areas that I'm in right now, I have a bounty on me, and I'm trying to. You know, I was just right by a huge group of bounty hunters, and I almost wanted to do some target practice and get them, but I like I said, I didn't want to cause a ruckus, and you you guys be hearing a bunch of gunshots. You know, that's for sure. So, I just ran off and hoped like hell that they didn't catch up to me. You know, that's for sure. But, I think my biggest plans are, you know, mostly the Baldwin trip, and then, you know, some things in Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, that's for sure. Other than that, I mean, between Memorial Day weekend and the weekend of July 3rd and July 4th, you know, I really don't have a whole lot going on. I mean, sometime in June, there's a festival going on in South Haven that I might try and go to. You know, a really nice festival. It's I don't remember if it's Harbor Fest or Blueberry Fest. I always get those two mixed up. I'll have to look on Google and you know, check and see what they are. But yeah, there's a festival in South Haven that's coming up soon that I'd like to try and go to. Was gonna try and go to it last year, but I unfortunately never made it to it, and you know, yeah. But yeah, I don't really know what all I'm gonna be doing, you know, after Memorial Day. There's quite a few things that I want to do, but at the same time, I don't want to keep making plans because, you know, with work picking up the way it is, and, you know, me having to work through some weekends, or you know, work quite a ways from where I live, and, you know, that takes a lot of money, and, you know, that takes a lot of patience out of me to really do much, so, you know, but it is something that I will try and do, you know, that's for sure. You know, most of the summer last year kind of sucked for me because I went most of the summer without a vehicle of my own, because when I did get the truck that I have now, you know, my 2008 Ram 1500 Mega Cab, I got it from an auction place up by Wayland, and you know, for some reason they were having all sorts of issues, and I didn't get my title for that truck up until, like, let's see, I got the truck kind of in the beginning of July. It might have been like the second or third week of July. And I didn't get my title for that truck until mid to late October. And it wasn't up until November that I finally got that truck plated and insured. So, yeah, I tell you what, considering I had to screw around waiting for a title and all, I just, you know, I really couldn't do much for myself last summer, you know, not unless if I borrowed my dad's van or my stepmom's car, but that wasn't always a given for me, so, you know. Yeah, thankfully this year I have a truck, and you know, I hope and pray that nothing major goes on with this truck, and then sometime, hopefully, if work keeps going the way it is, I'm able to actually save up. You know, hopefully I'll have another truck real soon. But yeah, I'm not ungrateful for what I have by any means, but yeah, I am gonna try and hold on to the truck that I have as long as I can, that's for sure. But um, right now, at some point, I would like to try and either go back to an F-150 or save up for something like, I'm kind of leaning more towards an F-150 or maybe any other type of pickup truck, but part of me wants to get a Suburban or an Expedition, but with the job that I work, I think I'd be better off just getting another pickup truck. So, and the pickup trucks that I really like are F-150s. I don't mind Ram trucks. I think I don't think they're bad trucks. Chevy, in my opinion, is okay. I don't hate Chevy. I got a lot of people in my family that drive Chevys. I don't think they're bad by any means. Heck, I've driven a Chevy before. It was a 2002 Chevy Suburban, and it wasn't bad up until the last few months that I drove it. But anyways, man, I'm getting off subject again. I'm getting into subjects about vehicles, but yeah, like I said, now that I have my own vehicle again, I'd like to try and continue doing things this summer. Hopefully if work doesn't get in the way of everything, and hopefully if I don't have any major issues like I did last year. That's for sure. I am trying to make plans for things as much as I can, but I'm not exactly 100% sure how all things are going to go. And like I said, I don't want to make plans for something and then work get in the way and then I have to cancel, because that's what I had to do quite a bit last summer, and I tell you what, that sucked. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, I can't complain about working too much though, because I mean, you make good money from it, and thankfully the jobs we've been working on have been pretty good pay. Like I said, the next few days I'm supposed to be working on a house up by Gun Lake, and then we're supposed to get a job. I guess it's I forget the name of the town, but it's up between Big Rapids and Cedar Springs, I think. But yeah, I'm not exactly too sure about some of the other jobs we have, but I know there's this job that we've been talking about doing for probably 3 months now. There's a siding job that we're supposed to do that's in Battle Creek, or not Battle Creek, but past Battle Creek in the Marshall area. Never done a job out there, but it's for another company that we do some work for. The siding job that we did up in Holland, that was through that company too. And then the one that we're supposed to do that's between Cedar Springs and Big Rapids, that's through that same company too. I'm not sure if the job we're doing tomorrow is through the same company or not. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to talk to my dad about that. I work for my dad. He owns a building contracting company. So, yeah. yeah, during the summertime we keep ourselves busy, you know. So I can't complain about that. But um anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. At this point, I'm pretty sure if I keep speaking, I'm just going to end up repeating some things. I probably already did repeat a few things on this video. But anyways, it's starting to get a little late, and I got to get ready for work in the morning. So hope everybody's having a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this. You know, like I said, I'm working on a big video, and I'm hoping to have it put together sometime after Memorial Day, or maybe sometime in early June. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Anyways, I might do another one of these videos, hopefully maybe Memorial Day weekend or sometime before the end of June or the beginning of June, so yeah. You guys all take care now. Be safe. And like I said to all the mothers out there that's watching this, hopefully you had a fantastic Mother's Day to remember. Oh, excuse me. But, yeah. You guys take care now. And be safe.